A judge in Georgia is set to hear arguments over revoking bond for one of former President Trump's co-defendants in the election interference case. Harrison Floyd, the former director of Black Voices for Trump, pleaded not guilty to all charges stemming from alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Now prosecutors say he engaged in a pattern of intimidation toward other co-defendants and witnesses. Floyd's attorney says he did not violate the conditions of his bond order. This as Trump is fighting legal battles on multiple fronts while campaigning to take back the White House. Investigative reporter Olivia Rubin joins me now in studio, along with senior reporter Catherine Faulders in Washington, D.C. for much more. Olivia, so what are prosecutors kind of saying right now about Floyd's role in intimidating witnesses?
So Floyd, who is, a little known defendant in the case, he's certainly not Donald Trump, but it's fascinating because, Stephanie, he's accused in the wake of the 2020 election of actually trying to influence witnesses to sort of cop to false allegations of election fraud, specifically in the wake of the 2020 election. That's what he's charged for. And now prosecutors have come back around and essentially said he's engaging in more intimidating conduct, specifically on social media, through his Twitter account, in an interview he gave on a podcast, and saying he is attempting to indirectly contact co-defendants in the case, other potential witnesses in the case, which goes against the terms that he is out on bail for. So this same sort of conduct he's charged for in the wake of the 2020 election, they're now saying he's still doing on Twitter, on social media, and in some cases with the same election worker who prosecutors now say has faced threats.
Is there any repercussion for that?
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. The Fulton County DA is now trying to say we should revoke his bond because he is clearly engaging in this pattern and is thus ineligible for bond. And remember, all 19 defendants in this case, including Donald Trump, are out on bond, but there are specific conditions. They cannot do any acts that intimidate other witnesses. They cannot have direct contact with co-defendants in the case. So all of the 19 defendants are out. They are not in jail, but they are on conditions that they don't violate these terms. But now they're saying that Harrison Floyd has violated them and he should be put back in jail. And it's especially fascinating, Stephanie, because remember, a number of law enforcement officials are looking at President Donald Trump's own conduct on social media, what he is posting. He's facing multiple gag orders, which I'm sure Catherine will talk about. But an example of what could happen in Georgia if, in prosecutors' mind, you violate what they have asked you to do.
The court watching closely. Let's bring in Catherine Faulders. Catherine, this comes as a federal court is considering reinstating a gag order, as Olivia just mentioned, on President Trump in the special counsel's election interference case. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, this was a gag order that the judge in Washington, D.C. that's overseeing the January 6th case here imposed. The Trump team appealed it to the D.C. Circuit. So right now, this gag order is not in effect. The panel of judges heard arguments on this yesterday from the Trump legal team that argues this is unconstitutional. It shouldn't be in effect, especially at the height of an election. And also from the special counsel's team that says what Trump is saying on social media or saying at his rallies essentially could intimidate witnesses and cause harm. Now, it was interesting because the panel of judges took issue in some instances with both arguments. They thought potentially it could be overly broad. They also took issue with Trump's arguments that he can just say whatever he wants. So it does seem that they will narrow this gag order. We don't exactly know when they will rule, but it could come as early as today.
Wow, we will be waiting to see if that happens. And meanwhile, former President Trump's attorneys are appealing on a ruling in a case that they won. A Colorado court ruled Trump engaged in insurrection, but would not be disqualified from the ballot under the 14th Amendment. So what are they appealing exactly, and what would be the next steps?
Right. So on the one hand, they won, as you mentioned, because Trump can remain on the ballot. But the judge did find that Trump engaged in insurrection, and this clause didn't necessarily make clear whether a president or somebody running for president could be disqualified. So the Trump team originally applauded this ruling. It wasn't that great for them. They are appealing this. It will go through the appeals process, but it's likely that this will all end up in the Supreme Court.
At the Supreme Court. All right, Catherine, thank you so much for that update. Olivia Rubin in studio for us. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.